Hey Beer Geeks, and welcome to a very overdue What to Drink in 2019.
Yeah, what month is it, Johnny? We've got into it.
I think it's nearly Christmas. I think the next episode is Christmas beers.
It's pretty exciting though, because we've got best of the world, right?
Yeah, the best of the rest of the world. So at the end of this video is a link to the first video we did, which is kind of what's going to be big in the UK. And this time we're going to do some beers from all around the world that are worth watching out for. Most of them are European again, so if you're American or Australian, please let us know what is awesome, and we will endeavour to track down these beers. But I've been doing lots of research over the last couple of weeks, and these are the European and Canadian breweries worth watching out for this year. So it's quite an eclectic mix. I didn't really know where to start. When you're tasting beer, you want to start low ABV, like more crisp, lighter flavours, and work your way up. None of these are crisp or light. So we're going to start in Poland. Brad, if you could do the honours.
Yeah.
So this is... Go on, who wants to try it first?
I'll have a go if I can see where it is now. Browar to Mostow.
I reckon Mostow.
Mostow. It's got a W, but maybe it's Mostow.
Yeah. And these guys are from Krakow, or as they call it, Wrocław.
Did it?
And this is this brewery are really, really interesting. So there's lots of gypsy brewing happening in Poland. It's got an amazing beer scene. Not many of them, though, have their own brewery. These guys do, and they do loads and loads of collaborations with some amazing American and British guys. And they've got their more traditional stuff. They've got their sort of American IPAs and that kind of thing. And then they've got their exciting, unusual beers, of which this is one.
One of the art series. And I must say the actual artwork on it is beautiful as well. I do love Polish poster design, mid-century onwards.
Didn't know that was the thing, but
great graphic designers. But anyway,
they make a lot of fruit in Poland. Blueberries and stuff like it's like the biggest producer in the EU. So these guys connect with these guys and make fruited beers. So this is a pink guava sour saison. And it's got quite the aroma, judging by Brad's face.
I'm pretty sure they can't grow guavas in...
No, I don't think the pink guava is Polish. I'd be surprised if that...
But, I mean, who knows? Wow. That's an out there beer,
It's a pretty big aroma. I'm gonna go right in.
Pink guava sour saison. I like what you did there with the...
Yeah, traps it all in.
The trappy.
So there's a spicy saison character, definitely, and a little bit of meaty... Mm-hmm. That you sometimes get off the really rich saisons.
Sweet meat, a meatness, sort of sweetness.
Yeah. And then like a sour guava-y kind of thing. It's a bit of a weird one. It's not really guava-y, and it's not quite saison-y, and it's not quite lactobacillus-y. It's really intriguing.
It's very smooth.
Surprisingly not acidic.
Yeah. It's not as sharp as I was expecting it to be.
It's got a little... I think there's lots of wheat in this. It's got a wheaty kind of cracker kind of edge to it.
And is that where it's getting the sort of thicker mouthfeel?
I think so, yeah, because it really sort of puffs up in the mouth, a bit like a skip.
Skips. We haven't matched those with any beers ever.
I'm not sure we have yet. It'd be good with this, actually.
It would, right?
Yeah, it's not overly fruity. It's very nicely balanced. I'd want a little bit more acidity, given that they put sour on the label. But it's a really nice peppery saison with some acidity going on and a wheat beer kind of vibe as well.
Yeah, it's definitely, for me, it's got that wheat beer kind of... I could drink this in the winter, despite its sort of summery... tropically
vibes,
kind of vibes. I think that's a great winter drinker. Onwards we go.
Onwards and over to Canada.
Nicest people in the world. Nicest people in the world.
Is that right?
Yeah, they're annoyingly nice.
Collective Arts. So these guys are a pretty big brewery now over in their home country. And they've, you'll like this, they've started their whole career by merging art and beer. So they put out with every, I think they release like 4 packs at a time, 4 different beers, and each one is designed by a different artist.
Awesome.
Who applies to be the person on the can.
Brilliant.
So they put out a call going, we've got these beers, who wants to label them? As far as I know. And then they brew the beautiful beers that go into it, and then they have lots of merch and all that kind of stuff coming off the back.
Awesome. That's a really, really nice approach. It's
Yeah,
good to hear that kind of Meeting of art and science.
Craft beer, if it really wants to grow and get outside of the bubble that it's in, it's got to bring in different cultures in. So art or food or music. And this is a really great way of doing it, and of obviously producing noise outside of the beer bubble.
Definitely. A lot of people these days say, Johnny, that the beer can is the new record sleeve.
Yeah, to some extent. You see people like putting the labels on their fridges and all kinds of stuff. So this artist is Judson Collier from San Fran.
And he's drawn like a spaceman.
Done a spaceman, because spaceman and beer seem to go together. Spaceman, skulls, beards.
Yeah, why not? He might have a skull face or a beard.
He could do, we just don't know.
We can't see it, so yeah.
So this is a New England IPA.
Mm-hmm. Hence the complexion.
Hence the murk. Yeah, and it's classic like stone fruit, mango, but a bit of pine as well. I feel like there's probably some more traditional sea hops in here. Yeah, Mosaic and Simcoe. So it's got some juice from the Mosaic, and Simcoe has a juicy element to it as well, particularly with the yeast, but it's got a bit of pine and sap to it.
Oh,
it's banging.
Nothing wrong with that.
It's really dry, which, my only issue with, and I love New England IPAs, that often I don't find them dry enough, so they get a bit sticky after a while. Mm-hmm. That finishes really dry, really clean. Not a lot of bitterness, almost brute IPA-esque, the finish. Nice and light and zingy.
It is quite jammy, isn't it? Yeah. It's not lingering.
No.
It's straight away gone. But...
Yeah, but the aroma is there, and it's juicy at the start, and it's clean at the end, which is, I think where New England IPA is going to actually end up.
We've had Poland. We've had Canada, eh?
Canada, yeah.
And then where else are we going in the world, Johnny? Where's next?
We're going to Italy now. So we're going to a brewery called Crack.
Right.
Who needs marijuana beer when you can have Crack?
Crack.
That's their...
It is quite Moorish, Crack, so I'm interested to see what the beer's like.
Well,
it lives up to the name. Yeah,
so these guys, they're actually, I think, more famous for their New England IPA brewing, but I was much more interested in the fact that they have bought a farm. They're growing their own malt, which I don't think they malt themselves, and they're growing their own fruits. Wow. So they've got like a real mixed firm thing going on. And obviously being in Italy, I think they're in the Veneto wine region, so they can get all the barrels, lots of fruits, and can do really interesting stuff with everything on their doorstep.
The DeVito wine region?
Yeah.
With Danny DeVito?
Veneto.
I love Danny DeVito. Oh, we didn't expect that, did we?
Fucking cork in it.
This is Panic over.
I knew you wouldn't let us down.
Right. How's this work? Oh yeah.
Shall I do it, bro?
Yeah, you do it. Yeah. Oh.
It's called Pesce or Pesce. Not quite sure. Let's say. So it's all in Italian. But here we go. Peach. A sour ale blended with peach, matured for 14 months on the peaches.
Are you translating?
90% of it is in some barrel, I don't know, and the other one is Amarone barrels.
Is that all in Italian?
Yeah.
How have you just what?
You just fill in the gaps between the words you understand.
Wow.
Damn.
That smells amazing.
Damn, Daniel.
Yeah.
Really peachy, citrusy, bready. Lots of sherbet.
Really
love
sherbety. that. Want to dive in?
Yeah, just peach sherbet. Peach sweets. Are there peaches in Haribo sours? I don't think there are, but there should be, because that's what this would be. It's absolutely delicious.
That's pretty on the money, isn't it?
That is banging. My only criticism is I'd want a tiny bit more oak in it to dry it off at the finish. But it's got a lovely vein of sweetness running through it. And then you've got the sherbet and you've got the lactobacillus and everything popping off of this sweet, peachy sweet, as in candied sweet kind of vein running through. It doesn't feel showy, it just feels refined. Yeah. Whereas lots of kettle sours, triple fruited ghosts, stuff like that is trying to punch you in the face. Whereas this is going, you don't need to be punched in the face to feel something. Yeah.
It's like what I'm trying to sort of compare it to is like, and it's Italian sports cars are really showy, and they're like break down and they're not actually that good. They look great though. This isn't that at all. This is like more like a Volvo.
It's the Italians showing their depth.
It's like a Volvo.
More like a Volvo.
Yeah, it's like
come on.
Volvos are great cars, man. They're really reliable. Oh, I'm
But
making it
it's
sound
not
boring.
refined. I mean,
I'm
they're the
making it sound
shape.
boring.
They're the shape of
Oh,
a.
they're really refined. Volvos are refined. Okay, so it's like a Rolls Royce Phantom then. That's,
Okay.
gliding through a country
An
idyll.
Aston Martin.
Aston Martin.
An Aston Martin in a beautiful on the Amalfi
Exactly.
Coast. That's what this.
You've got your driving gloves on.
Yeah.
You're sloshing that back. You go off a mountain
And
and
die.
you're dead.
Right.
Don't do that, kids. But that,
Kids don't drive either.
don't drive.
There you go. Second glass. I knew it would go somewhere. So the final beer, we're going back to New England IPA. Ireland is having a huge surge of great breweries. Obviously, there's always been White Hag for the last couple of years, who make sensational beer, particularly their Irish Bog Ale, which is much more delicious than it sounds. And then you've got Whiplash, who make fantastic New England beers and a great table beer as well. Right, here we go. So third barrel from Dublin. That head is green, right?
Yes.
Am I mad?
No, that's green as a Martian.
Right, so that's got a ton of hops in. Strawberry jam. Loads and loads of yeast character in that. Some hop sting. I'm mostly getting the yeast from that. So maybe this isn't green. Maybe it's your house that's green.
My house isn't green.
No, it's orange, isn't it? That's a very well made beer.
Balanced.
Showing a bit of age, I'd say. End of November, end of December, end of January. Yeah. So it's only 2 and a bit months old. And that's been cold stored by me. But otherwise, that's a beautifully made beer. I think that, straight off the line, would have been absolutely exceptional. Yeah, just bitter jam, marmalade-y.
Bit of jam. That's the name of my punk band.
Bitter jam. It's a good punk band name. Yeah, I think that's fantastic. I think a lot of the time, this channel and most people get kind of obsessed with the nations that are good at putting themselves out there.
Yeah.
Like the UK, like Norway, Sweden. Those guys, and Denmark, obviously. Like you've got people like McKellar, Omnipollo, Lervid.
Yeah, the
and
show-offs,
then-
the shouters.
Who make exceptional beer, but we forget that there are amazing things going on in the rest of Europe, the rest of the world.
Some nations are more humble, aren't they?
Yeah.
You don't need to they're not as boastful.
I think
They
so.
might not be as good at getting the word out.
And Collective Arts actually are very good at getting the word out, and that's why I think they're going to be very big this year, because they've come over to the UK and they're getting all over the place, and they have a really good concept for it. So they're there. That beer was great, but it wasn't mind blowing. But the way they're going about it, the ethos they have is going to make them big and rightly so.
Groundwork's there.
Whereas these other guys, Crack's cans, they stand out. They're beautiful cans. But I think the beer inside this bottle is better than the beer inside their cans.
That was incredible, to be honest.
And then these guys, Poland. I should also say this was a collab with Napa Beer, who, like, Spain has such a great scene at the moment, like Soma, Garage. I wanted to put Garage in this, but I think they're too well known now. And lots of cool stuff going on in Catalonia. So if you're ever travelling to these different places, don't just look at where to drink in those cities. Like, try and get out a little bit, because that's where a lot of the cool stuff is happening. And the same in Ireland. We'll definitely do an Irish road trip. I think there's a lot to be found there.
To be sure.
To be sure. So yeah, check out our video about great British guys that are coming up at the moment. And we will see you in a week's time.
Beautiful. Cheers, guys.